Today we're going to talk about eczema, a dry skin disease that is very common and well known about. So eczema here in the South. And welcome, because this is a bar that I pride myself in making. For one, my personal experience. So stick with me. I got more to share. So the eczema lotion cake is designed for those who are dealing with the chronic dry skin disease, and it is a type of dermatitis that is not contact nor contagious to others. You're only contagious to yourself, and these can be rigid bumps that actually profuse and they rupture and they will spread about the skin. It's almost like a blistering effect. You get dry, scaly layers that actually peel off, and it will go right down to the dermis and the tender skin. It ages the skin. It will have wrinkles and pulls and creases in it. Some people even lose their fingernails, or they transfer it from scratching and the liquids get onto their scalp, and then they have psoriasis. Eczema, dry skin disease, it can really truly populate your body and really make suffering just, it's like a everyday challenge. People will stand away from you or not want to touch you because, well, they're afraid that they may get what you have. And this is very crippling for kids in school and people who, don't know you and aren't familiar with you, and you're just dealing with this terrible, terrible dry skin disease. Additionally, the psoriasis can also, it is a form of eczema. There was at one time 28 different types of eczema, and they are all a nightmare. I've had personal experience with it. I was born with eczema, so from the time I was 3 years old until I was, into my 20s, I had really truly suffered with eczema. I have tried all kinds of snake oil, as you can call it, in order to deal with eczema and try and eliminate the grief that I was going through and the experience I was having. I was ridiculed and, bullied at school and called names, and of course, people didn't want to sit beside me on the bus. They didn't, definitely didn't want to come in contact with me in school. And I nearly failed 3rd and 4th grade because my hands were in such a bad way, all the way up to the bends of my elbows. I had lost, like my fingernails and things. I looked like acid had been poured on my hands. It was really, really bad. And I suffered a lot, but because of my difficulty with my hands, I was struggling to write when you do your alphabet. And in that period of time, you are learning to write cursive writing, and you had to do your tablet and do as the teacher instructed. And there were many requirements. I didn't play. When I went outside, I did not play. Cold air was extremely painful. Very painful because, it is my naked raw hands, that cool breeze and wind out there and the chapping. And of course, my hands would crack open and bleed. That was just, I definitely wasn't going to touch no monkey bars or expose my hands. I wanted to stay inside where it was warm. I wanted my hands to be warm because that way I wouldn't be hurting and in pain, and where I suffered that pain for such a long period of time. And my mom and dad did everything they could. They took me to numerous doctors and dermatologists and they tried all kinds of folk art type remedies, and nothing would work. I have eaten chalk with K-Rose syrup. I have put tar, it's a liquid tar, directly on it. You talking about set you on fire. And it was so painful and such suffering, and there were many other things. But I'm making this video to share with you that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Because of my suffering and what I went through, when I got older, when I was around 15 years old, this elder lady came up to me. And just out of nowhere, I know God sent her. I know that He just sent her over to me. And she said, "You got eczema." She said, "Honey, if you'll find somebody that makes some goat milk soap, they, might be out in a barn or something." Because even then, that was just a curious thing, that not everybody advertised that they did. And it would kind of be one of those things that they, undertook in their barn or, somewhere they made this soap. And what was magical about the goat milk soap is it truly had the ability to go deep into the dermis and moisturize the skin and keep the oils protected and those enzymes that was in goat milk and really truly protect that skin. So I also make goat milk soaps here. But what I discovered in my journey is it actually did cure, and I am saying cure, my eczema. So when she tells me this, of course, I say, where's it at? I'll buy a case of it. I want some. And she said, you'll just have to hunt for it. Well, during that time, that was not well known. There weren't these festivals where people were making goat milk soap or none of that. I mean, you talking about in the day. This is in the, 79 and early 80s. I had seen this ad in the Farmer's Almanac, the red book that you get to go buy your plants and things like that, because my family lived by that stuff, just religiously, because I grew up on a farm and it was important. I seen this little ad in the almanac, and it was a company in Germany that sold goat milk soap. Now, I want you to understand, back then, to buy one little bar of soap that was over here in Germany, it costed me $7. And back then, $7 was hard to come by, especially for a young teenage girl who worked part-time and going to school. But I managed it, and I mailed off, and I got me that one bar soap. And it was, my answer. It was the prayer being answered by God himself. Well, then I kept exploring and asking around, and I found this little handmade craft store. And I drove up there. Sure enough, they had some goat milk soap from this same company in Germany. Now, I bought up everything they had. And when I went back, unfortunately, during that time, in order for them to even reorder this product to get it back in their store, there was a levy. They had to order at least $250 worth of product wholesale in order to get that order filled. So unfortunately, they couldn't get me any more of the soap. Of course, I just used it just, on my eczema areas, and just enough to protect me, because it cured it up. I got it cured up, so I was constantly protecting my body, making sure that I kept it moist and using the purest of things I could to protect my skin and keep it away from me. The scarring and everything improved as I grew older, and then, those things kind of moved out. There is not one single inch of my entire body, from my head to the tip of my toe, that I have not experienced eczema and or psoriasis. Yes, I had psoriasis on my scalp in junior high. That's another story for a different video. So let me stick with the story I'm telling you. All right, as time goes on, when I was in my 30s, this is when I was exploring making my own. In my journey, taught myself how to make soap. Now, in this, I learned everything else. I learned about essential oils and refined oils, different things throughout my journey. And that fit right in line with what I was doing, because I was already making items. So making the soap kind of was the launch and the birth of so many things way before I started making the soap, because I'd learned all this other stuff before I started making soap. And I just started dabbing into it deeper. I created an eczema lotion cake. I also created products such as the tea tree soap, the tea tree lotion, and I also did a tincture for effectively treating people with eczema, psoriasis, and arthritic psoriasis. The bottom line is there are many products here at Dandelion North that can be beneficial and healing. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope. So I'm sharing with you today my eczema lotion cake. And this is truly formulated. I mean exclusively, especially formulated to be effective on eczema. You can use it on psoriasis, but the truth of the matter is, even though this is one type of eczema, psoriasis needs to be handled in a different way. And I do not want to go long-winded on this video. I just want to share with you that the eczema lotion cake is effective whether for any age. This can be little baby all the way up to elder. Anyone can use it. And if you just have chronic dry skin and you have difficulty keeping your skin moisturized, there are many other products at Dandelion North, and definitely check out the website or call me direct. Key ingredients that go into the eczema lotion cake, they're formulated in a certain count. Even though you will see all of the oils on the label, the truth of the matter is each one of them have an exact calculation to make the eczema lotion cake that I make that is effective and it does work and it's beneficial to the individual using it. The way that I place it is I put it into a roll-up container. This makes the application very easy because at the touch of your hand, the oils are going to give. So you just need to swipe across it and then apply it to the infected area. This will prevent any kind of transference. So that if you have any ruptured skin or any ruptures of the eczema on the body, we're not getting it into the lotion cake bar and we're not transferring it to somewhere else on our body because it's so natural. There's absolutely nothing in the lotion cake that is a preservative except for the oils themselves and a little bit of sesame seed oil to protect it against rancid or going bad. This little lotion cake will last a long time, and I do encourage mothers who may have a baby, toddler, or child that's going to a daycare. They may want to keep that in their bag, one at home, so that it's always with them, and then that way they can treat the areas and it will get rid of it. I mean, I'm talking snap, it's gone. Let me show you again, basically that are here in the batch. I've already melted these down, and when this leaves the pot where it's warm, it will set up really fast. It's smooth, it's really easy. You can kind of see the gel state there on the back of the spoon. This one is the 0.75 ounce. This is the smaller roll-up container with ease, and it has the cap on it. Of course, the label will be asphyxiated onto this. I do make two other sizes available, so that if you want a larger size, there's one that's the size of a deodorant stick, this type of deodorant stick, and these are just larger, but these are all mentioned on the website. And if there's any questions that I can answer or be of any assistance, there are some things that you can do to improve that can be beneficial in what you eat as well as what you expose your skin to. But in a nutshell, someone who is dealing with eczema or psoriasis, they fall under a different level of skincare. For whatever reason, this allergy has planted itself within the body, and it is a type of allergy, and believe it or not, it's actually associated with what you know as allergies, sneezing, asthma, and runny nose, that kind of thing, from actual allergies and asthma. That has been studied and proven. So someone in my downline ancestors had severe allergies, and this is how it came down through the bloodline and to the DNA and gave me eczema. So you who are suffering with eczema or psoriasis, you've inherited an allergy that came from someone in your ancestral line and in your genealogy, even as immediate as a mother, a father, or grandparent. I got mine from my father, had eczema, but he didn't have it really, really bad. But back then, they used next to natural things, and they didn't have so much detergent bars and messing with detergent and things as they do now. Things were more pure form and didn't have as many preservatives, even though it had preservatives. So it was a different time for him, and he didn't suffer as bad. But he still would have times when it would pop out on him, just as I have, when the weather's extremely cold and dry and you're running the heat, and anywhere that clothing has rubbed, like hips, I've had it come up on my neck, I've had it come up on my side, on my back, on my stomach, different places. They'll just pop up on my face, and definitely up here on my forehead. That's where it's notorious, right here under my eye and my hairline, and you suffer that way. That's just the eczema and psoriasis. I'd like to help you recover and definitely get rid of eczema, or at least minimize the stress in battling it until your body can get to a point of healing that it can take over and finish healing itself, and you can be rid of it more of your life than having to live with it in your life. It is really, truly doable. Consider this eczema lotion cake as something that might be beneficial to you, or some of the other items. And I'm always available to talk to anyone regarding their eczema and their psoriasis and go on that journey with them and help them figure out what's going to work best for them. Check out Dandelion North leave your comments, share this video, and let other people know that there is, light at the end of the tunnel. And I'd be glad to assist you in any way. And subscribe to the channel. Check out the other videos. So this is Elizabeth at Dandelion North. Until the next one, take care of you. Chase the moon with the spirit of a dandelion.